Okay, I'm going to imitate Beserker 793. Imitate how he thinks, the speeches that he would give, because Beserker is really what do you call it? Just like me, a typing, I guess you could call him activist. He's a race realist activist, and I feel that we need to promote or advertise his viewpoint, even though I don't agree with it. I feel that, you know, he's an American and he deserves his freedom of speech. So I want to help him out a little bit. So I'm going to imitate his viewpoint, how he would, the tone that he would give if he was publicly speaking as a person. For all you guys that don't know Beserker, just look on the race and IQ board. Just type up his name, Beserker 793, and you'll hear his views about race. So here's my speech as Beserker 793, and this is in regards to how black should view race realism. Until the black man, and yes, I'm saying man because man dominates society outside of society in terms of invention, in terms of innovation and creativity, regardless of what the feminists think. Men control and dominate the society based upon genes. I'll discuss that later. But going back to my point, until the black man acknowledges that as a race he has made the least amount of accomplishments in terms of invention, creativity, political systems, and economic systems, until he recognizes that his race, I'm not talking about him as an individual. I'm sure 1 out of 1 billion black people may become a Nobel Prize winner in science, but it hasn't happened. So I'm not talking about him as an individual. I'm talking about him as a race. Until he recognizes his inferiority in that context, black on white crime will even increase even more. It's at 18-1. Blacks kill 18 for every 100,000 people. Blacks kill 18 whites compared to whites killing 1 black. That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. Interracial rape, we're talking about white men raping black women. How about we talk about the black man raping the white woman? I know it's not some Ku Klux Klan myth. It's a reality. Look it up yourself. White women have a 40-1 chance of getting raped by a black man. 40-1 in favor of the niggas. In favor of these niggas that you put up as the victim. So since they put themselves up falsely as the victim, I think I should falsely or truly portray them as the perpetrator. That's a perpetrator of black on white hate, and what is the reason for this hate? What is the reason for this hate? The reason is, like I said, the black man continues to deny his inferiority in intellectual capacity in a modernized society. It's clearly evident. And how do I prove this? Well, people have already proved this. Rushdom has used cranial science. In every pattern that shows lower intelligence, there's a smaller brain size, there's smaller folds, I call them concentration folds in the brain. The black race is on the bottom. That does not mean that there are certain individuals in the black race who cannot overcome or are exceptions to this rule. Usually they have white blood, white Caucasoid blood. But in general, the black race has the lowest intellectual capacity. The only thing you need to do is look at Africa. Africa, half of it's uncivilized. And what I mean by uncivilized, it's a simple society, hunters and gatherers. What half of Africa is today is what Europe was 6,000 years ago. I'm not angry about it, but I'm angry that cannot say this without being called a hateful, racist bigot. That is not bigotry. Bigotry is false premises. Okay? The bigotry, the true bigotry is against the white man. Because it's a false promise to say that the white man, the reason why the black man has not achieved is because of colonialism and Jim Crow and racism. Think about this. Why is it when Jim Crow has been erased for 40 years, there has not been one significant increase in blackward mobility? Not one single increase, but yet they continue to blame Jim Crow, the white man, and white racism. But yet the whites just continue to go along with it. The liberal, guilty whites continue to go along with it. And so, you know what? The black man has had the white man kissing his ass constantly. And I will not kiss his ass. I'm going to tell him the truth. The truth is that he is not genetically capable of creating civilization. It's a pipe dream. Or let me just put it. In other words, unless there is a radical environmental change in the black culture and black environment, there is no way this group of people will become equal to the Asiatic, Northeast Asiatic, and the white Caucasoid race. That is a fact. But I'm not supposed to. We can't say that black. You know, the thing about this is, people, when we say blacks are genetically inferior in intellectual capacity, some of these blacks, they reject that and call that racism. But long distance sprinting, medium distance sprinting, we have genetic superiority in that. That's a racial difference. If medium sprinting is a racial difference, then intellectual capacity is a racial difference. The black race is not humble, and even these Uncle Tom Oreo blacks, they're more annoying than the ghetto niggas. You want to know why? Because the Uncle Tom Oreos continue to say, well, I have made it. That means we can change these ghetto black niggas to make it. How come you're not making it? Civil rights, you have more civil rights today than you had back in 1800, and black crime is at an alarming rate, and black on white crime is at a super alarming rate. But yet it's my fault. White privilege? Tell me about white privilege. Affirmative action in college is white privilege? And say a black male can have a 400, 500 point lower SAT, and his ass can be in fucking college. Meanwhile, the white who was qualified has to sit back because he was privileged. And yet you talk about white privilege. The black man must acknowledge. And that's why I go after the black man. The black man. I'm not going to go and talk to the white people. The black man has to look in the mirror and ask himself, can he really sit there with all the evidence that I've provided, many of these black Uncle Toms, how whites, through evolution, have a higher evolutionary capacity than the black race? Can you sit there with a straight face and deny this? If you do, you are a liar, and you are contributing to the genocide of my white race. Because the myth of equality is motivating interracial crime at an alarming rate. And yet, these Uncle Tom Oreo blacks want to pretend that, if I made it, all these Snoop Doggy Dogg idiots can make it. No, they cannot. Have a nice day, white world.